Finishing up this week on the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast, we got our Week 7 Extra Juicy Dawgz. Real quick, on bye this week, we have two teams. Your Chicago Bears coming back from London, and the Dallas Cowgirls really needing to figure things out. Jerry Jones' birthday celebration wasn't much of a celebration after all, after that ass beating. They got to figure things out there.
They look terrible. They just look awful. Oh, my goodness.
Fun fact here. The 4 best teams in the entire NFL in terms of point differential. We all know what point differential is. The 4 best teams in the entire NFL in terms of point differential all reside in the NFC North. The Packers, the Lions, the Bears, and the Vikings are the top 4 teams according to point differential in the whole NFL. That's nuts.
Yeah.
That's nuts. Max, give us your Week 7 Extra Juicy Dawg at the quarterback position.
All right, everybody. You know what? It's a big-time name. We haven't brought him up this year yet, and he's on my fantasy team. You better believe I'm starting him. I got Jalen Hurts, baby. Jalen Hurts going up against the New York Giants. Now, they are ranked 19th, which isn't very good against the quarterback. Last week, Cole Breezy, Jalen Hurts had 264 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 33 rushing yards. That's 22.3 fantasy points. Everybody is back, Go Breezy. The Eagles are healthy. A.J. Brown is back. Devontae Smith is back. It's time to heat it up and get rolling, right? Those Eagles, fly, Eagles, fly, because that division is wide open. The Cowboys below. The Eagles are good, and basically the only competition that the Eagles have in that division is Washington, because the Commanders look actually very good this year. But I mean, right now they do. They look good. But I'm telling you right now, the Eagles are the team in that division. They better win the NFC East. I'd be very surprised if they didn't. So fire up Jalen Hurts probably for the rest of the season, okay? More than likely, he's starting every single week regardless of who you have. But you better fire him up this week if you're hesitant about it.
Definitely good weekly start here. I'm wondering if he's going to run anymore. I'm wondering if he's going to rush anymore. Only 2 touchdowns on the ground this year and only 1 game above 33 yards. 1 game above 33 yards. Coming off 15 rushing touchdowns last year, it's going to come down this year.
Saquon. But I'm still liking what he's doing in fantasy. Sure. He just came off a bye week, or up to 2 weeks ago. Sorry, 2 weeks ago. So I know right now he's not there in the fantasy ranking. Like he might be 12th or 14th or something like that. That's going to change. He'll be in the top 10.
No doubt. My Extra Juicy Dawg at the quarterback position for Week 7. Going to be Tampa Bay Buccaneer. Blazer Mayfield versus the Ravens. Right now, Mayfield is quarterback 2 in fantasy. He has had at least 23 fantasy points in 3 straight games. 23 in 3 straight games. That's pretty good. 15 passing touchdowns this season. Leads the NFL by 3. He also has 2 rushing touchdowns, which is already the second most in his career. Getting it done a little bit on the ground. Tampa Bay, they're 3.5-point underdogs at home in this one. So Baker's going to be comfortable, going to be throwing a little bit. 49.5-point over-under is the 4th highest on the week. And the Baltimore Ravens are 31st against the quarterback position in fantasy. Second to last. Fire up Baker Mayfield. He's the quarterback 2 this year. I slept on him. Queef on me.
Yeah, Same. We both did. We definitely both slept on him. We were joking around saying that he's not going to be in the top 10 this year. He's number 2, and he continues to prove us wrong because he's got elite wide receivers. Cole Breezy, Mike Evans still doing it. Chris Godwin, who was my sleeper pick in that NFC South. Sorry, NFC South. And I got him on my team. I'm starting him every week. Everybody have Chris Godwin in your lineup. We're not going to talk about him today, but with the way that Baker Mayfield's chucking it, you better be having him in your lineup.
Godwin looks a lot better in the back into the slot this year. Who's your Extra Juicy Dawg at the running back position for Week 7?
Cole Breezy, I made a lot of jokes about this guy. I've been messing around for years. Okay, I have never had faith in this guy, but this year he's looking good. I got JK Dobbins, Dobbins of the LA Chargers going up against Arizona. Arizona's ranked 23rd.
I'd hear this.
I know. And this is probably more than likely the only time I'm ever going to compliment JK Dobbins ever again.
I get hurt this week.
Yeah, sorry, JK. So last week he had 96 yards. He had a touchdown, 17.2 fantasy points. And He's out of his wheelchair, Cole Breezy. He's stumbling his way into the end zone, and I'm glad that he's feeling better. He's being utilized, and sadly, this might potentially be his final season in the NFL, and he'll be going right back into Kenny Kawaguchi's wheelchair. But I got to give him this week. He's looking good. He's ranked 15th in our fantasy league. He has a good matchup. I like seeing good players, especially when they come out of college. I'm glad that he's healthy. So hopefully he can have a good rest of the season before he ends up in Kenny Kawaguchi's wheelchair.
A sleeper pick from our Chargers representative, Kyle Jennings, coming into the season, JK Dobbins, so a nice one on him. 25 carries last week for JK. 25 carries? Ooh, that makes me nervous. My extra juicy dog at the running back position for week 7 is going to be Bijan Robinson versus the Seahawks.
Sure.
Bijan's RB7 right now. I think people might be a little surprised by that. RB7. He's consistent, man. He's consistent. Yeah. Double-digit fantasy points in every game this season. Double digits in every game. Putting him in there every game. Doesn't matter what matchup it is. He's got 21 receptions on the season. That is tied for 4th from the running back position. Atlanta, they're 3-point home favorites in this one against the Seahawks. A 50.5-point over-under is tied for the 2nd highest on the week. A lot of points. The Seahawks are 21st against the running back position. Bijan, 2 tutties last week, Max. Gonna find it again. My buddy, Mr. Tutty, the first one for week 7. Bijan Robinson against the Seahawks.
I am sorry. I also forgot to say that J.K. Dobbins, my buddy, Mr. Tutty. I did have it written down. Sorry,
nice.
He's getting in the end zone. So
nice.
Sorry. I did have that.
Anything on Bijan?
Bijan's the man. I mean, there's some of these guys that we're going to name out where obviously you have in your lineups. It's fun to talk about some guys that it's an automatic lock regardless of the year he's having. You're like, he's in there.
Oh, yeah.
But Bijan's incredible. Good pick.
Give me your wide receiver from the Extra Juicy Dawgz segment for week 7.
So, slow start for this guy, but damn, has he picked it up, okay? Because the Ravens have picked it up. I'm going Zay Flowers. Nice. Zay Flowers against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is ranked 26th against receivers. Like I just said, dude, this guy's red hot. The last 2 games, Cole Breezy, 7 catches, 2 games ago, 7 catches on 12 targets. That's 111 yards for 16.5 fantasy points. Last week, 9 of 9 targets, 9 catches on 9 targets, 132 yards, and 18.9 fantasy points. I'm going to tell you right now, Cole Breezy, my buddy, Mr. Tutty, get him in the end zone. He only has 1 touchdown this year. He only has 1 touchdown. It's time to get him in the end zone again, maybe on a deep ball. I could see it happening. Have him in your lineups, everybody, if you're hesitant with Zay Flowers. Oh, my goodness. 12 and 9 targets? Jeez Louise. That's a lot of targets.
Yeah. Very efficient there. We were all thinking Mark Andrews was that number 1 target for Lamar coming in, and no, we were wrong on that one too. Zay Flowers, he's ascended a second year leap, and only 1 tutty, but could be that second one here in Tampa. Going to be some points in that game. Mm-hmm. My extra juicy dog at the wide receiver position for week 7, going against the Detroit Lions, is Justin Jefferson, Jay Jettas. He's wide receiver 8 in full PPR leagues, even with a bye. Wide receiver 8, even with that bye. Consistent. I said Bijan Robinson was consistent. Damn it, Justin Jefferson is consistent. At least 15.2 full PPR fantasy points in every game this season. 15.2 was his lowest. My goodness. The Vikings coming off this bye, they're 1.5-point home favorites. This is going to be a good game against the Lions. Might be the juiciest game of the week. Could be.
Yeah.
50.5-point over-under says it's going to be juicy, tied for 2nd highest on the week. And like I said, the Lions, you can get them through the air. You're not going to run on them unless you're Kenneth Walker. Unless you're Kenneth Walker, you're not going to run on the Lions. You can get them through. You can get them through the air, though. The Lions are 29th against the wide receiver position in fantasy football. Justin Jefferson, he scored a tutty in each of the first 4 weeks. Didn't get one the other day. He's getting back in there. Justin Jefferson scoring against the Detroit Lions in week 7.
I see that as an easy point. Easy point on that one. Justin Jefferson. Go ahead.
Last time you said that, layup, what was it? Barkley, he didn't even score for me. Rip me off on last time you said layup.
Woo. All right, good. All right. Moving on to the tight end, Cole Breezy. Okay, I know we were literally just bashing on this team. But I got to bring up this guy. I got to bring him up because I brought him up a couple weeks ago, and I need a little redemption because he ended up not playing that week. I got David Njoku for the Cleveland Browns. Here's the reason being, everybody. David Njoku is a very reliable tight end. We keep bringing it up. The tight end position blows this year. Last week, David Njoku had 7 targets, and guess what? Amari Cooper ain't there anymore. He ain't there anymore. He's going to be the number 1 option. Yeah. They can't run the ball, so they're going to have to start chucking it. Njoku, expect 10 targets this week, at least 10 targets. I'm expecting at least 8 catches, and I wouldn't doubt a tutty, but I'm not calling it because I'm not calling it.
Don't tease me.
Sorry. Don't get those titties too perked, okay? I'm definitely not calling it because the Browns, they just suck. But have David Njoku in your starting lineup. I have him in my starting lineup this week because I have some faith in the fact that he's the number 1 option now.
Yeah. It's not going to be Jerry Jeudy. It's not going to be Elijah Moore. It's not going to be Jordan Akins, Pierre Strong Jr. No. David Bell. No. It's going to be David Njoku. I like that pick, definitely. He's going to be close to the line of scrimmage. It's going to be easier for Deshaun to see him and to hit him. It's going to be close to the line of scrimmage for Deshaun. He's trending towards the worst quarterback in the NFL right now, Deshaun Watson. He's not running. He sucks. He fucking sucks.
Yes, he does.
My tight end for this Extra Juicy Dawgz segment for Week 7 is going to be Houston Texan Dalton Schultz.
Oh, Dalton Schultz. Okay, all right.
He's playing in Green Bay this week in Lambeau. Currently, Dalton Schultz is tight end 23. Oh, my goodness, that is not good. He hasn't gone over 4 receptions in a game, and he also hasn't gotten over 34 receiving yards in a game. And guess what? He's got a goose for touchdowns. He hasn't found the end zone. He hasn't been better than 4 for 34 this season. My goodness, so why am I talking about him? Why am I putting him in there? Because you can beat Green Bay, the tight end position. It's open in the middle there. Green Bay is 30th against the tight end position in fantasy football right now. 47.5 point over-under in this game. The Texans and Packers, that's tied for 5th highest on the week. Houston, they're 2.5 point road underdogs, going to have to come back. Might be a late 4th quarter tutty for Dalton Schultz. But not gonna. Can't do it. I can't guarantee nothing there. Anything on Dalton Schultz of the Texans?
Yeah, I think we keep bringing up some scrappy players. I think Dalton Schultz is a scrappy player. But again, that tight end position in general this year is a scrap. Okay, it's just scrappy. Even if you have a top 5 guy, like Isaiah Likely, it's like you just don't know. You just don't know what's going to happen. Is he going to score a touchdown on 1 catch, or is he going to give you a 0.9 because 4 yards on 1 catch? It's like it's just scraps, man. It's just scraps. So, yeah, sure. I see your point on that. I think, I love that game. I hope it's on TV over here because I would love to watch that one.